Microsoft 365 versus Google Workspace. What's better for financial advisors and RIAs? You see, there are two great email platforms out there, and they both do a variety of different things. They provide great emails, but we need to compare the pros and the cons for both of them because in some ways one is actually better than the other. And the problem is the wrong pick can cost you your next SEC exam. How are you doing? My name is Harrison Barron from Secure Wealth IT. We're an MSP, a managed service provider, and we help RIAs and financial firms make sure that they are cyber safe and secure as well as compliant with the SEC exam. So making sure that your systems run smoothly, you don't have to worry about anything, and hey, when the time comes for an SEC exam, you can rest peacefully at night knowing that things are taken care of the right way. You can head over to our website, securewealthit.com. We have a ton of information there, who we help, how we actually help them, our services. And we have a bunch of resources, including a pretty cool finance calculator that you could go through, play around with, and actually begin to mess with and see, hey, you know what? It's better than calculator.net. It's a little bit easier. And if you want it embedded in your website, please reach out to us. We're happy to work that out as well. Now, in this video, we're going to be talking about two of the core things. We have Google Workspace and we have Microsoft 365. There's a ton of data on both of them, and I'm going to be going back and forth to the screen. But we have to think about what is the problem here, the real question, and the real question is not which is actually better. And I know that might sound kind of weird because you're like, well, there has to be one that's better. It's actually about SEC Rule 17A-4, and this means you need to have 6-year retention in worm format. Now you might be thinking, Harrison, what on earth is worm format? Worm format is write once, read many. It's a fancy way of saying, hey, that data can be written into an archive and never be tampered with or moved for 6 years. And then after those 6 years, you could delete it and be done with it. But both those tools comply, both Microsoft and Google. But the way they comply is very different, and you have to be aware of these two problems. So head to head, we have email archiving. Now, with email archiving, and I'm going to jump back to my computer here to show you, we have Microsoft, which is a great platform. And if you go through and you can actually see, right, there's a Microsoft Business Premium, which is really what advisors actually need. You can go through, grab it, right? You have products here and businesses and pricing for business, and you could go through and have a little fun inside of here. But you technically need the Microsoft Business Premium version. That way you have what's called Microsoft Purview. And it also opens up a variety of different other features as well, right? Here it is, Microsoft Business Premium, and you'll see Business Premium over here as well. Microsoft offers something M365 Purview, where Google has Google Vault, where it's a Smarsh risk with Google. What that means is, hey, you need to have Smarsh in conjunction with Google. Now, technically, for 17A-4, you can be compliant with Microsoft in this case by allowing, and you could hover over it, there's Microsoft Purview. It's that little triangle thing. Inside of there, Microsoft Purview makes governing, protecting, and managing your data easy and efficient. That's the core with it. Now, Google, on the other hand, is slightly different. Now, it's still a great platform, but you need to make sure that you have something like Smarsh as well with this, so that way you are compliant. Doesn't mean it's necessarily worse, but it is something that you actually need. The other thing that you might want to be aware of is you have Excel versus Sheets. Excel from Microsoft, Sheets for Google. Financial modality basically allows you to just look at sheets and Excel sheets differently depending on the platform. Now, personally, I like both. I like an Excel sheet on my computer, and I like Sheets on my Google Drive because it's easy and I can share it out with the rest of the team. I think Google's environment makes it a little bit easier, but on the flip side of things, Microsoft's environment is a bit more secure. You also have to think about what's important for you. Who's integrating? Now, thankfully, both of these integrate with almost every CRM at this point, as well as custodian. So Schwab, Orion, Redtail, Wealthbox, the list goes on and on. And collaboration ease of use is another one which I kind of hinted at already. When you're thinking about which one's better, you have to think about what do you have experience on. Now, I'm not saying that Google and Microsoft are better than one another. Personally, I love Microsoft. It's what I kind of grew up and grew my career on, but Google makes things easy. It almost makes things too easy. And in my opinion, that could be a negative takeaway from it. For collaboration, it's fantastic. But in the world of what we're living in, especially with RAs and making sure that things are safe, secure, and archived correctly, it's really important that, yes, even though it's easy to share files, we do need to make sure that things are archived correctly. That way, we never have to worry about 17A 4. This could cause a ton of problems. And not only that, the last thing you want is to be scratching your head saying, oh, I just wish I didn't have XYZ problem. That's really where things start to come in. Security and IT controls are absolutely in favor of Microsoft 365. And you're probably thinking, Harrison, well, that stinks. I don't really want to use Microsoft 365. Look, you could go to Google and say, hey, you got to make a slightly better product. But for the IT professional, we have a couple different things. We have something called Microsoft Intune, right, which is a fantastic way for us to control things. We have Microsoft Defender, which is one of these. We have Entra, which is another one. It basically allows us to have a full suite of different things that allow us to fully provide a high quality level of support while also maintaining and making sure that you are compliant when the time comes for your financial firm. Now, some people don't like Purview and they still want to add on Smarsh as well. That is totally fine also. Some people just have a preference, some people don't have a preference. Smarsh provides you the information a little bit easier and a little bit safer for your SEC exam to consume, but Purview is 100% totally fine. But let's talk about pricing because we all, at the end of the day, it comes down to dollars and cents and what is right for your firm. Believe it or not, they're the exact same price. $22 a user. I know it sounds crazy. Microsoft 365 Business Premium is $22 per user. You can look at it right here, right? You have to make sure that you have the Business Premium. Business Standard does not meet compliance. On the Google side, if we go back to pricing in here, you'll actually see that you do need the Plus. And the Plus allows for that secure advanced endpoint management and enhanced security and management controls. It is $22. I know. That was probably pretty crazy. You probably didn't expect that. But they both know that you need, if you are going in compliance, a $22 license. They are happy to sell you. But here's the thing, the hidden costs. Third-party archiving costs add $20 to $40 per user if you go with Google. And what I mean by that is you do need Smarsh. Now, there's plenty of Microsoft 365 companies out there that also prefer to have Smarsh as well. More of a peace of mind thing where, hey, it's safe, secure, and if we do fire somebody, I don't even have to worry about it, right? That's what we take care of. But you don't want to cheap out on lower tiers. If you cheap out on lower tiers, just as I said, or if you go with the starter or the standard in here, or if you go with Microsoft Business Basic or Business Standard, you are paying money that quite literally will not keep you from passing your exam. It will actually stop you and you will end up getting the next stage in there, which is a letter of recommendation of what you need to fix to go fix it. And guess what they're going to do? They are absolutely going to tell you to go pay for the more premium versions of it. My pick right off the bat is Microsoft 365 for most RIAs. I get it. If they're younger, they're typically going to go with a Google platform. But Google works if you're small, cloud native, and you're okay with paying that additional fee for Smarsh. But neither is compliant out of the box. You have to configure Microsoft correctly. It just won't work right there. But also, you need to make sure that Google works in conjunction with a tool like Smarsh. So neither one of them are working right out of the box the way that you want. It does take some configuration. It does take some time. And before somebody comes after me and says, that's not fair, look, I didn't make the SEC rules and I don't develop these softwares. But what I do is help RIAs and financial firms make sure that they are compliant so you don't have to worry about these things. Personally, I do love my Microsoft 365 stack, and I like keeping the data in the tools that are supposed to have it. It makes life easy, and I know that the security there is all good from all varieties of industries, not just the financial firm. But if they're allowed to work with pretty much anybody out there, out of the box, it makes life fairly easy. And what I mean by out of the box is they have all of the tools there to be configured and used correctly. That is the most important thing. If you enjoyed this video, hopefully I've earned a like button, a subscribe button, notification bell, but some quick tips and tricks on what is the best email platform. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, notify, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.